Hello, my name is Emil, and I want to showcase today how to make a Azure DevOps integration with the Debricked software composition analysis tool. Um, to start off, I have created a repository here in my Azure DevOps organization. It has very few files, but the files we need to that actually install some dependencies. So we are looking at an npm project installing some npm packages, as we can see here, and I've also committed the corresponding yarn lock file. Um, so to make the integration, we first go to pipelines, and then I can create a new pipeline. So if I choose here to create one of these Git pipelines, I can just pick any template here and override this pipeline with our own integration, which you can find in the Debricked documentation. So if you go to debricked.portal.debricked.com, which is our community driven forum, and our documentation is also here. You can go to documentation, and we can search for Azure DevOps and find the suggestion right here, where you can read through how we integrate with the Azure DevOps pipelines and their YAML files. But the main thing is that we have a default template and some special templates for different languages to get higher accuracy in our builds. But this is getting deprecated soon, or there will only be one single template. But for npm, we can go ahead and use the default template. So this takes us to our Debricked GitHub repository containing all the templates. And here we can see that it's a pretty standard Azure pipelines job here. So I copy this and I connect it here, paste it in here. And then it's important that to scan this, we actually need a token to make sure that the Debricked, that we're posting the scan results to the correct user and the correct login of the Debricked service. So, and here you can see that the variable is named Debricked token. So to do this, we create a new variable. I already have created this one, but I will show you in the tool how we can create a new token. So in the Debricked tool, you go to admin tools, and here you need to be an admin user to create tokens, and then we can go to account settings here, and here we can see access tokens, and here you can generate a new token. You want one with only API access, and we name our token, and then we have generated our new access token. We copy this, and we go into our DevOps pipeline. So let's keep this token a secret and name it correctly. I already have another token, so I will name this Debricked token 2 and save. And let's rename this. Let's use that token as well. And then I can run and save this pipeline. And I can commit this to the master branch. As we can see then, this file was committed to the repository. And we can see that we have these scans ongoing now. If we click into the scan, we can see that the different steps that are performed. And it took 12 seconds to make the actual Debricked scan. And if we look at the output here, we can first see that we pulled the Debricked scanning image. And going down here and zooming in a bit, we can see that we can see in the CLI output the files we found and the files we actually uploaded to our servers to perform the scan on. And then we can see the different automation rules that were checked here. So we can see that we have 4 rules to check. Here is one: if a new dependency is added where the license risk is at least medium, then notify the admin user group by emails. And we can see that this rule did not trigger, so we're fine. And we have a few other rules that did not trigger. But then we have some vulnerabilities here. So if the dependency contains vulnerabilities which has not been marked as unaffected, then send a pipeline warning. And this rule was triggered, and we can see all the different CVEs, the CVS scores, which dependency actually imported this, has this vulnerability, as well as the license. But we're interested in all these different vulnerabilities here. And as you see, you get a link to the tool for both the dependency, to view the dependency and all vulnerabilities in this dependency in this repository, as well as this this particular CVE here as well. And here we can see that we threw a pipeline warning. And I will soon showcase the pipeline failure as well. But let's first just click one of these links and get into the Debricked tool. So as you can see, we have a repository, which is my name, and Debricked Azure DevOps test. You don't need to create this repository in the Debricked tool. As soon as you make the Azure DevOps YAML file and have that integration, we will pick up from the Git files which repository we're in and create all the necessary things on our end. So the only configuration you need to do is on the Azure DevOps side, and when you perform the scan, we create all the assets that we need. And here we can see that we have the vulnerability, all the information, and we can, from the different vendors, as I've shown before in regular demos. Let's go into, we can see here that we have this rule that triggered, and we can actually go to exactly this rule from this pipeline. So let's not close that window. Let's go to that rule here. And here we have this automation rule was one that triggered. And this only throws a warning. So let's change this to actually fail the pipeline. And then we generate the rule, and we make sure that we save it as well. So now we can see that this has a failing, this rule will fail the pipeline. And let's go to our repository and actually make a file change here. So let's edit this file and just add a couple of blank spaces here and commit it to the main branch. And going back to pipelines, you can see that we need to rerun the pipeline here. So, or here we have it. So the scan is being run. So let's wait for the scan to get picked up. And Debricked is doing our thing. And we can see that we scanned these files in about 11 seconds. And now we have the failing indication instead, seeing that we with the Debricked automations and policies are in control of this, and that this automation rule triggered with a failing output. Yeah, so that is the showcase of the Debricked software composition analysis tool within Azure DevOps. Good luck in your open source journey, and thank you for listening to me for a couple of minutes. Goodbye.